So we're over a month now here in Indiana that we have been in quarantine.
It's been a month since the stay at home in LA.
Has been almost a month and a week of being in quarantine in New York.
Definitely finding new ways to keep myself busy, and I'm finding it easier to be at home. I'm getting more into routine here.
Like I have adjusted well. It's just kind of become a new normal for me. Like I'm used to getting up and doing work from home. I'm used to having downtime to be able to go outside or play the piano or read or get on social media. So I don't know. I feel like I've gotten used to it.
I think it's getting a little easier. Not like in an objective way, but emotionally I'm coming into terms with like, okay, what are the practices that are helpful for me? What are some new habits I want to deepen or hone in on? And really sort of let go and surrender a little bit the idea of like, when is this going to be over? When is this going to be over? And sort of try to be the most intentional I can with my time and stop trying to control things that are completely out of my control.
I have every single streaming service available. Netflix, Apple TV, Hulu, HBO Go. I mean, everything I want, I can literally watch anything.
I always like lighthearted shows, so I always watch those, but I catch myself watching them more now because I feel like now we kind of have to find our own lightheartedness and, happiness.
I live with my two sons and my partner Ryan. Things that we have done a little bit differently to enjoy each other's company more. The one thing I really think about is the fact that now before bedtime we do singing most every night. Our bedtime routine always included books, but we've recently, we'll read a couple books and now we'll do some family songs. And the kids have been loving it, and it's a good way to end the day on a good, happy, positive, optimistic note.
I have two other roommates, RJ and John John. He's been also in the kitchen a lot, and cooking nonstop all day, trying new recipes out. We've been YouTubing a lot of food videos, like street foods from different countries, and seeing if we can replicate it. We've been on this whole like commercial kitchen transformation in our space, and just it's been nice to have the time and the enjoyment just to be able to cook and to make food and share.
Since my husband is doing propagating and gardening, he bought some plants and we have it in the patio. And then when it's time, whenever that is, we decided to start planting in our yard. And so we actually did a little bit, I think 2 days ago. This is one of the succulents. Wait, is that it? Yeah. And then another one in the back.
I live with my partner, my fiance. He's a musician. He has brought in his instruments from his studio into our sort of sunroom. And there's been tons of music playing in the house, which I'm deeply appreciative and grateful for.
I was a camp counselor last year, and one of the things that the kids loved to do was to make bracelets. So I bought a lot of string and a lot of like these beads. This is one that I started. It's like a chevron pattern. Yeah, I bought a lot of string. I organized it all. And then I bought a lot of beads and all these.
For me, music is a part of my life, obviously, and a part of my career, but it's also a creative outlet that I can kind of blow off some steam and just really enjoy myself making music with others. We've been using an app called Acapella, which allows us to collaborate online and to play different parts from different places and then put them all together and make them sound really good. And so that's been something that I had not been doing a lot of until this pandemic hit, and now we're just playing all kinds of music.
I have not done in a long time, which I finally got back to during this week, is clay and ceramics and pottery. I used to do that many years ago through high school, so like 10, 12 years ago. and I have not touched clay in so long, and I finally got a few pounds of clay, self hardening clay, so you don't need like the oven and you don't need all this really expensive equipment.
I'm gonna cut Ryan's hair. I tried to go to the pharmacy to buy hair clippers, and they were all sold out. The woman said they've been sold out and they can't get any new ones. So we borrowed clippers and scissors from Ryan's parents, and I'm going to attempt to cut his hair this weekend.
I have not downloaded any new social media apps since quarantine started. I am still using the same ones that I've always used. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the Nextdoor app, so I can see what my neighbors are up to. And I mean, Nextdoor is hilarious. There's all kinds of funny posts that get put up there that'll get you entertainment, as well as like legit ones that are for the good of the neighborhood. But there are some funny ones.
So social media helps me stay connected because I can easily contact my friends, or I can easily contact, neighbors, and also just find out local news, like what's going on around your community, or even just the state. I see coronavirus updates on Instagram and Snapchat every day, so that helps me to stay connected.
I'm like this close to downloading TikTok. I like see it everywhere. It's on Instagram and Twitter and all the other social media that I'm on. I see all the dances, all the really funny things on TikTok. So I'm like very, very close to downloading TikTok.
I've been contemplating downloading TikTok and doing that whole thing. I haven't. I just think I'm like, I don't need the additional distraction right now.
There have been a lot of conversations from different states and different elected officials around opening shops and sort of lifting the mandate. And depending on where you are, for example, I'm in Florida, so there have been these sort of conversations about opening certain businesses, and certain beaches have opened in the north of the state. And that concerns me because I know that we still have not seen the peak of this pandemic, and that our precautionary measures should still continue for a much longer time.
Everyone's looking forward to that day where things are allowed to be reopened to the public, and there's always this back and forth of when is the right date. Certain states are petitioning to get things open, and the news is saying one thing, and then the neighborhood's saying another, and then the businesses are saying this day, the theater's saying that. So it goes, there's this constant uncertainty that I feel that has been dwelling lately.
I wish that things can start opening up slowly without causing a huge spike in cases and hospitalizations. I fear that this is dividing the country even more than it already was prior to the pandemic. The United States doesn't feel like a united country, and that causes me some uneasiness.
One of my biggest concerns in the upcoming weeks is how businesses are going to start opening up and going back to work. I understand there's a very difficult and delicate balance between prioritizing the health of individuals, but also making sure that businesses and people are able to continue working so that they can financially support themselves.